What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at Hero Generations. This is a roguelike kind of thing with a bit of a twist. Basically, it's going to take place, as the title suggests, over the course of several generations. Your heroes in this world are going to live and fight and grow old and die, and it's up to you to pass on a bit of a legacy to your offspring in order to that they will flourish in later generations and sustain your line of heroes. It's a little bit Rogue Legacy in some regards, I suppose. Let's take a look at the settings before we go in. There's a lot to speak of, but we've got audio on one single slider, so music and sound effects all together, which is not great. Screen resolution, there's no windowed or full screen mode, you just change the resolution, it's always windowed. I tried Alt and Enter, that didn't seem to do much, so yeah, windowed mode it is, which is again, not great. And special effects, I'm not sure what this actually turns on and off, because it's not a visually complex game, but special effects can apparently be turned on or off. And on top of that, it is all locked at 30 frames per second, which is not great, really, guys. I can't really think of much excuse for that. It's not a visually demanding and not a complex game, so I can't really see why it wouldn't be feasible to run this at 60 or higher, or, you know, just unlock the frame rate for crying out loud, guys. There's no real reason for it to be at 30. Anyway, let's start a new game. I'm going to overwrite my old save, because I want to start from the top. We're going to start at the top. We will start in the world with our hero. Our hero is a guy called Banzer, apparently. We've been given a quest to kill Boss Northway and build a monument. Two main quests in this life, in this world, in this territory. Banzer has a few stats here. He's got 1 strength. Your first character experience is always going to have 1 strength. That is not a lot of strength. That will not serve you very well in combat. You need to find ways to up that if you're going to try and fight things. If you hit someone in combat, he will hit for 5 years of their life, for life is basically kind of your unit of health in this for a great deal of ways. He has 70 years of his life left ahead of him. If someone hits me in combat, that will be reduced. We'll sustain injuries that will reduce our lifespans. So if we take on, I can see an enemy down here, so if this guy attacks us, he's got 18 strength, so I really don't want to be taking him on right now. He will probably win in combat. It's not guaranteed that he will win. There is no matter what you're fighting, there's always a chance you can win. We'll see that when we get to the combat mechanics, but it's not likely that I will win. And if he hits me, he will hit for 5 damage as well, and that will take 5 years off of my life. It won't kill me. I'll be able to carry on my life as usual, but it will be a little bit shorter because I will have sustained an injury. We've got a couple of traits. Those will come in later on in the game. We can pick those up as we go along by learning things or mating with people. Or, well, certainly our offspring can gain traits by us mating with people who have traits, but for us, we're going to have to earn them in this world. And then we've got 2 item slots as well, so you can carry 1 item in each hand. Each space that we move around the map, we can move up, down, left, or right. Each space will take 1 year of our life. We start at age 16. As I say, we've got 70 years ahead of us. We're looking to live to the ripe old age of 86 in this particular instance. We can change that. We can gain more years of life ahead of us. So there we go. I'm age 17, walking to the outskirts of the town. Apparently it took me a year. I'm not a fast walker, what can I say? By visiting things and exploring things, we'll gain fame. So we've got a fame score up here, which is basically just our score. Certain mates that if we're looking to settle down later on in life, we'll have requirements. People will have certain standards. People might require me to be a certain degree of fame. They might require me to be at least moderately famous adventurer before they settle down with me. So we go to the forest. I will gain 400 gold. With that forest, I'll gain some fame. From a famed explorer. That's the boss Northway that we're told we had to slay at the start. They have 15 years of life, which means I would need to hit it 3 times in order to slay it, with my current stats anyway. To be fair, it's actually quite hard to up your combat damage to anything particularly significant, so it's not likely that I'll be able to get to 15. And it's frankly just going to destroy me if I attack it, so I'm just going to run away from it. It kind of wanders around randomly unless you pick up like valuable treasures, at which point it will chase you down. The towns are interesting. They're going to be the towns are going to be a big part of your legacy, to be honest. At the minute, that is a slum because there's nothing there. There's nothing in this town. It's a slum. The 0 of the heart tells me there are no mates for me to meet there. If I go into the town, nobody's going to be there. I can't meet anyone. There are 4 blocks around the town. I'm stood on one. These sort of grey tiles. They allow me to build things with the money I have. So I can build farms. I can build barracks, observatories, museums, districts, and later temples. And these are going to confer different effects to things. So if I build a farm, that's going to generate 400 gold, plus an extra 100 for every mate in the town, every 10 years. Barracks are going to produce extra strength potions every so often, every 10 years, so if I go visit these towns, I will up my strength and become better at combat. Observatories will just unlock parts of the map that sort of just basically unveils parts of the clouds at random for you. Museums will increase the rewards from a certain quest, the Ancient Treasure quest, which I'll probably try and do if I can find any on this map. And districts add more mates to it. So for now, I think obviously we're just starting out. I'd like to earn some money in this world so that I may be able to better fund my future generations. I think we'll invest in some farms, and that will turn it into a town. There is a town there because it now actually has something that's worth making it a town. So it has become one, and that gives us a mate. There is something in this town that's worth living here. So now we can meet mates here. If we enter Detero. We have Keely, who is a commoner, which means she has very, very low standards. The only thing she's looking for in life is someone with 300 fame. So she's fine. She'd happily settle with me and produce a child to carry on our legacy. I'm not ready to do that just yet. I have 58 years of life ahead of me. I'm not ready to settle down. I'm only 29. There we go. Let's have another farm. I'm going to spend some time building up a farming legacy, basically. Because it's a good way to generate some early money, which you can then invest into other resources. There's a lot of this is kind of setting up a legacy for your child, which I kind of like this. So, right, at certain stages in our life, apparently at age 30 for this particular character, it varies a little bit from character to character, but at age 30, Banza is going to grow up into an adult. Growing into an adult gives us an extra 10 strength, and lets us pick one random genetic trait. So it usually shows you one of them. In this case, it says that we know we can become a defender, or I can pick another one. If I do that, it's random. I get a random 1 life expectancy. So I'm likely to live a year longer than we previously thought. So that's good. Towns, you can see there's a bit of money there. So towns, as long as they're anything higher than a slum, they're going to produce something useful for you. The basic towns are just going to produce money. More complex towns can produce more interesting things. If we head here, we can go to build options. You can see the kind of towns you can get by building different things around the towns. You can get special kinds of towns. So if I build 3 barracks, we'll make a fort, which will basically start providing us with weapons and increase the effect of those barracks. If we build a ranch, that will give us some random traits. If we build a hamlet, I believe that one gives us, if you have 2 districts in one temple, I believe that starts producing presents, which you can carry around with you to give to a mate to reduce the requirements that mate has. So if I grab that money there, what I'm going to want to do here is, I think, build a museum. So the museum means that if I take these treasures, there are some treasures we can gather from the ancient ruins. If we grab that treasure and take it to this town, the museum means that's going to be twice as valuable to us. Whilst I'm carrying this, the dragon is going to try and chase me down and kill me, so it's useful to try and get rid of it as soon as possible. As soon as I've turned it in, it loses interest and will leave me alone, but yeah, there we go. That's a good way to rack up a little bit of fame. If you can build a museum and grab some treasures, you can get some fame quickly that way. And the effects of these do stat. These will add an extra 500 each, so you could get 2,500 from each treasure if you built museums and just kept on turning those treasures in. And you can sometimes get 2 or 3 in a world, so that'd be a really good way to rack up a lot of fame very early on if you wanted to invest in that. But again, it would require an investment. You would need some farms, or later on even some factories or wonders to produce a lot more money. Those won't become available to later generations, but there you go. So we know this card's going to be a life expectancy, but I don't know how much life expectancy. It could be a lot, or it could just be 1. In my experience, it very, very frequently just seems to be 1, so I'm going to try a different random card. Okay, so we've got a trait. We have acquired a greedy trait, which means if I go into a gold mine, which I guess are these ones, I will get 50% more gold. But when we come to produce a child, we won't be adding any money to them. We won't be leaving any for the inheritance. We'll be spending the inheritance, as it were. So I've got a town here with a temple. The temple is going to add 2 years to our lifespan. So by visiting that, we live a little bit longer. There's some gold. I've got some strength now, so I should probably show you some combat. So we've got this guy here. He's probably not going to do much. So you can see our respective strengths over our head. I've got 21, he's got 5, and basically it's going to be a dice rolling contest. He's going to roll a dice between 0 and 5. I'm going to roll a dice between 0 and 21, and whoever's highest wins the fight. And then we deal our combat damage to the other's lifespan. A lot of your little random minion mob type things, they only have about 4 years of life, and your default attack is 5. So quite frankly, you're going to slay most of those things in one hit. Some of these guys can be a little tougher. This guy, I would kill him on hit, but sometimes you end up with, they'll have like a defender trait, and it might actually take a couple hits to kill them because you're dealing less damage to them because they're defensive. In this particular instance, that guy's got, I think that guy deals extra damage, to be honest, because of the spiky helmet thing. The dragon, as I say, is 15 life, so I would take a few hits to kill that guy. So I'll take that. This could probably be quite comfortably turned in there. Ancient treasure completed. And I've got, let's see, well, there are 2 districts around this town, so there are plenty of mates to be found here. There is a nice little forest up there. It's going to reward me with a bunch of fame, because I'm a famous explorer now. I've explored all the towns, don't you know? I'm going to take this guy on because he's fresh-faced and fresh out of the hamlet. Go on. Old man beating up the little kid here, but hey, there we go. I needed... To be honest, I didn't need those gifts. I picked up a bunch of gifts. Though those will reduce the requirements of mates in the town by 20%. They probably will stack, I imagine, so anyone in this town will be 40% less picky, I suppose. So they require 180 fame. They are a commoner. Asteria is a beauty who requires someone a bit more famous. Well, I'm famous, so I could go for that. We've got Virian is also a beauty with very similar requirements. Virian as a beauty is a charmer, which reduces the requirements of mates by 25%. I don't know how well I would stack with that. I presume it would stack with that. You could produce the... Don't know whether that would reduce it to a straight, like, 90% off, which is quite potent. Actually, to be honest, that's actually a really interesting move, because thinking about it, the way you end the game is by mating with a special character in a special area that is basically the chosen one, and their requirement is to have 30,000 fame. So if you could specifically gear your character up to have double charmer traits and carry around some small gifts, or even some large gifts, you could, I would have thought, potentially reduce those requirements significantly and make the game a lot easier to end. That's just a thought. It's just interesting the way things can progress. There's a lot going on. It's quite a surprisingly complex game. So, yeah, let's breed with... What's she got? She's got Haggler, which is 30% more gold when selling items. I'm not going to do that terribly often. And Stealthy means I don't lose fame when I run away. I think the Charmer's probably more interesting. Because we settle down with someone fairly famous, we get an extra bonus 500 fame ourselves. So, our daughter Suyoi will go forth into the world. Can't name them, but I can't be bothered at this point in time. So we've got some traits that we could pass on. I know we can pass on the Charmer trait, so we can do that. I know we can pass on the Defender trait. I know there are 2 rare cards in this board as well. This is essentially kind of a genetic lottery kind of thing. You flip over the cards and these are passed on to your child. We've got the Charmer trait inherited from the mother here. I'm not sure where the Defender trait came from, to be honest, but that's genetics. I don't know, recessive genes or something. It just kind of showed up in the board. There are 2 rare cards in here which have gold backs and are worth quite a lot more than every other card, and we know there are 4 traits potentially to pass on to the child in here, so it shows you kind of how many you found out of those cards. A lot of them are just going to be sort of like +1, +5 life. There'll be some that are +10, anywhere between like 10 and 15. Those will be the rare cards. If you can find those are really useful to have. You gain an extra, I think you get a base 6 card flips when you settle down and have a child, and for every 10 years of your character's life that is remaining, you get an extra 1 card flip. So settling down earlier in life actually can be advantageous for the following generation. There you go, so gold backed one gets us +10 life expectancy. So our child's going to live 10 years longer, and have +7 strength, so that's really cool. And one more year of life, there we go. So that means we're going to start with 8 strength, which is a little better than some characters get. So that's cool. We should be able to take on some of the lower level mobs right out the gate. We are a charmer. We are a defensive charmer, as it were. Our father is going to hand down his small gift. They've invented the temple, which allows me to build them. Some were already in the world anyway, but yeah, apparently I can build them now, which I couldn't before. He's only handed down 1 gift. I don't know if we consumed the gift when we married the mother. You know, she required the gift. She didn't want to be shown the gift. She wanted to be given it, I suppose. Legends have been told of magically sealed weapons in stone in the meadows. So, there you go. If you can get hints and rumours of things further afoot from your parents. If any of your parents survive you, otherwise you won't learn a lot, generally speaking. So if we bring up this world map, we kind of got... it's a very tiny little thing up in this top corner, but you can see we are here in the forest, and there are 6 areas of the world to visit. And, well, the different ones are going to have different things. So we just mentioned the meadows area. There's one of these will be a meadows, there'll be a desert, there'll be a volcano, and then a couple of others I haven't even seen. The volcano area, I think by generation 4 or 5, you'll start to get warnings that, oh, there's doom coming from the volcanoes in 10 generations' time. You should probably start thinking about going over there. which is, as I say, where I've seen sort of the Chosen One, which is kind of where the game ends. So you kind of want to be working towards building your legacy in that kind of direction. So, I set up a bunch of farms earlier on in life, didn't I? So, if I go head down to the farms, I can probably beat these guys because I've got decent attack. Or it could be a draw. As you can see, because it's a dice roll, it can quite comfortably go any kind of direction. I don't know why I didn't get the money from that one. If I wait there, I'll get the money, I guess. The fame from exploring the forests, why not? Get a bit of money and fame, always good. I can go there. How much attack does that guy have? 18. I could beat him. I could potentially beat him. I probably won't, but I could. I turn that into a farm. We turn that town into a ranch. So it's going to make a farmer book as tribute every 10 years. I don't really want that, but honestly, I'd rather have the farmers making the money, to be honest. The farms are a bit more valuable than the tribute. We beat this guy. Fresh out of the town. Little kid. Get punched. You know, he's 32 years. Maybe he wasn't a little kid if he's only got 32 years of life left ahead of him. Either that or genetics were not kind to him. We grow up, we become an adult, we gain a little bit more attack. So we get, yeah, as you progress, you get the 10 attack at adult, you get 10 attack at midlife, and then beyond that, as you become an elder and eventually a sage, and there may be another one beyond that, I'm not sure what that is. Elder and sage, you lose 10 attack from those as well. So if you want to carry on fighting well into your old age, you need to start planning and training up very early on. We can take the lifeblood trade, I don't really want to do that. I could just take +1 attack, that's fine, extra 1 in my life. Makes me more powerful, I can take on that guy. Just to explore their forests. Oh, I've got a bunch of things to fight. So you can get punched. Pow. As I say, the little minions only got 4 life, so they're okay. We moved on to square with 2 people, so it's just going to queue up the fights, basically. So we can all stand on the same space, and we will all fight. He's going to have to back off because I beat him. I need to visit... Have I visited the forest? I guess I have. This guy's protecting our forest as well. I'm just interested in exploring the forest to see what they've got right now. A little bit of fame from fighting, a little bit of fame from exploring. There's another forest up top here. There's a bunch of them, actually. There are these. We've got the lairs, which spawn monsters every 5 turns. If you go to it, it will simply stop spawning monsters and make the area a bit more safer. They usually reactivate upon a new generation, so you're going to have to revisit them every generation, but there you go. We've got clear all forests, so by visiting all the forests in the area, we've got 4,000 fame. We're a famous explorer. Bit of lifespan for visiting that town. He wants punching in the face as well, apparently. Take it. I've got a bit of money, so I should probably be looking at building some more stuff now. I've got 1,700. I could build a barracks. Barracks is probably where I want to be investing some of my money in life. A grave of a fallen adventurer is going to provide some money as well. Hit a milestone, we hit a midlife milestone, that's going to give us another 10 attack as we grow older. That is strength, I don't know how good it is, but it's 3, that's fine, I'll take a 3 strength, that's always nice to get. Sometimes randomly you'll get random things as well, you'll sometimes get a growth spurt instead of just your standard midlife, so you might get an extra few attack as well there, and later on in life you might take a crippling injury as well, so even those milestones are a little bit randomized, which is kind of cool. So I probably want as many barracks as I can, so that future generations may become potent and powerful in combat. So if we head over to the farms, I'm only spending. Actually, to be fair, I've got quite a long life here. I'm going to live to like age 110 there. I don't want the Haggler traits. I want to keep my Charmer and Defender traits. Not that there's any real guarantee that they're going to be passed on to my offspring, but I would like them nonetheless. I'm going to take this guy on because I'm so much stronger than him. So there we go, 18 to 10. He gets destroyed. And this is going to stop spawning mobs now. It's turned into that. If you can clear them both out, it actually turns into a bit of a shortcut. You can head between the two layers will kind of link together, and you can travel from one to the other. Bit of a shortcut across the level. So there we go. Build a farm there. No, wait, I didn't want to. Oh no, I didn't want to farm, did I? Nuts. Elder milestone, so we get a bit weaker. It's going to cost me a little bit of money to tear down this now, but I kind of want to tear it down, just on the basis that I made a wrong decision there, so I can destroy that, wait a year, and we can build barracks. Barracks is what I wanted. Let's become more potent in combat, or at least, not me. There's not much of my life left to really make any decisive changes in this world, but I can set things up for my kid, which is all anyone really asked for in life. So let's head up here. The dragon's kind of unfortunately sat exactly where I want to build, so hopefully he'll move along. It would be nice if I could settle down with 30 years or more left, because that would give me a lot of... Oh, God. I'm probably going to lose this, but because of the nature of dice rolling, I might win. I might. I won't. There you go. Because I've got Defender trait, I take 2 less damage. I still lose 8 years of life, which isn't great. I got money there. Don't move here, dragon. Thank God. Build a barracks. Now let's see what they've got. I think I'm happy with my lot in life. I've set things up so that my offspring may become powerful in combat. Enter Jin, the town of Jin. Got Jay loves you. It's kind of a strange... There's some strange naming. I can't help but wonder if this is like from a Kickstarter thing. Are there names from like a Kickstarter in this game? Seems like it could be. But Jay of Jin City requires 12 strength. I've got more than that, so he's happy to date me. He's a nice catch. He only has 15 years of life left. He will die before our child grows up, so that's not great. Also, I'm not really super happy about his traits. I wouldn't necessarily want to choose him because he's just got greedy traits, but whatever. I'm too old in life to be picky at this stage. So there we go. We shall settle down now a bit. Ambrose is our new hero. She will have 8 flips. There are no traits or rares in here? Or is it... Oh, the interface kind of overlaps because there's too much. I guess there's quite a lot of traits and only 2 rare cards, I think is what that's saying. So, Defender. Okay, I'm happy with Defender. Some attack, sure. Charmer, those are fine traits for me. Let's take the ones that I know actually have traits on them. Don't have traits on them. So I don't want to pick 2 and... Yeah, see, the problem with having so many traits is I don't want all those traits. I've got a little bit of attack power in life, but no real... Not much extra lifespan. No attack damage, not much money. It's not great. It's not a great child we've got here, but... well, that's not fair. We should always love our child, no matter what they are in life, but they're not as good as I'd hoped they were going to be. We've learned the Charmer trait. I do want rid of Greedy. Yeah, I don't want Greedy in life. Greedy doesn't get you far. So 16 years later, the father has died because he only had 15 years left. The mother still has 4 years to go. It's getting a little bit dark, and there's a knowing. It's like having the death clock there, and you know exactly the date that everyone's going to die. It's a bit grim. We invented the station. If you build those, you can create fast travel around the world, which seems kind of useful. You'll find the best mates in high-level towns. Build around towns to level them up. Useful bit of information there. So keep building things. So we start with 5 attack, which is not great, but we have lots of these things around the place now, which are going to make us a lot more powerful. I don't want to run into a dragon just yet. What I want is one of those. There's a grave there with a bit of money on it. Nice. Some strength. There we go. So we're up to 20 strength already. I haven't even reached adulthood properly yet. I'll take that. Can turn that in for an extra 1,000 fame. Take the 10 from leveling up. So you can see how the different generations kind of interplay here. You're kind of setting, as I say, you're sort of setting things up to... Ooh, I'll take a builder trait, yeah. You're kind of setting things up to basically create a better life for your child so that your child may become rich and famous and powerful and save the world, ultimately, is kind of what you're going for. So if you learn the builder trait, you'll have to give up a trait to continue. Give it... Do I want Defender? I'd rather have Defender than... I'd rather have Defender, yeah. I'll lose the Charmer, to be honest. So I feel like later on in life, Charmer would probably actually be quite useful. Later generations of Charmer might potentially be useful for finishing the game without it becoming an insurmountable hurdle, but you never know. Let's carry on and keep grabbing the strength. Because I'm now a builder, all these buildings are going to get fixed up just nice. Most of this life, I feel, is going to be spent wandering around, gaining some strength, but I might be able to kill the dragon if I keep doing that. I will level up my strength greatly and be able to slay the dragon in life. So he's destroyed. That closes that. There's not going to be any mobs spawning there. Might as well gain a little bit of fame out of this. Gain that strength. Turn that in. Have the money. An extra 2 years of life there. Kind of a bit pointless because it's going to take me 2 years to walk there and back. I guess if you had a lot of temples, the effect would be greatly multiplied. So again, kind of there's an advantage to stacking the effects of multiple things. There's our growth spurt, so we get plus 14 strength from this particular upgrade. And plus 1 extra life expectancy. I really need to be starting thinking about getting into a fight with that dragon, I feel, in life, because, quite frankly, I am running out of time. I got money to build another one of those, which makes that into a fort, which is great, because the fort's going to make wooden swords as a weapon for us, which we can pick up and carry around and leave to our children. And that's going to be useful in a fight. I've now got 69 attack, which means I feel like I could take this guy on now. Yay! Great, so we get to hit this guy. He's got 4 defense, though, which means I'm only going to hit him for 1, which is not great, really. I could really stand to... I didn't realise he had that. He's got Defender level 2 on there, which reduces the damage by 4. I hadn't actually spotted he'd got that. That's crazy. So really, I need a character that's got much higher actual strength, basically. And by upgrading some of these, I can do that, I think. I don't think I've got that yet. At Generation 4, we unlock the Academy. The Academy, I think, does actually give your character +1 combat damage. So if you build a bunch of academies around one of these towns or forts or what have you, you would generate a lot more attack power. You wouldn't necessarily have the strength in combat, but when you actually did hit an enemy, you would deal a lot more damage, and that's where you'd want to slay this dragon at this point in time. I don't think I'm actually going to be able to slay the dragon, because I'm only going to deal 1 damage at a time to it. And in spite of it saying 14 years left to live, for some reason the monsters, that timer never goes down. With these guys, the timer does go down. For some reason the monsters, it just doesn't. It's just that's just basically health for them. So, there's not much I've really achieved in life here, I'm afraid. I'm pretty strong, but it's not going to do much because I can't slay the dragon. I wanted to slay the dragon. I can't. Never mind. With 20 years of life ahead of me, I'm going to see if... Well, firstly, let's take him on. I've got 79 attack, so... Ooh! Ouch. I've only got 11 years left. Oh well. Let's try and go around the dragon. Now I lose some strength because I'm getting old. What I wanted to do was explore the next territory, actually, so I could show you that, but let's take an extra 5 years of life. That's going to keep me going a little bit longer. I probably don't want to get into a fight with him. I'll take the wooden sword, because that'll be good to leave to a kid. All these strength potions really not going to do much for me, but it'd be good for a child to pick up when they are born. I've got Siwo Loves You, again, with strange names that make me think that's like a Kickstarter thing. They require 42 strength. I am a strong warrior, so there we go. They're happy to settle down with me. I think they require a lot of strength because it's a fort, so you're gonna have people that are gonna require. It's a place for strong people, so they're gonna require strong partners in life. So we'll settle down with Siwo because they are relatively famous. I get +500 fame as well by proxy. So Luke, you are the chosen one. You will have some strength in life. Nice, that's +10. That's good. I'm not too bothered about the money. There's another +10. And a defender, yeah? Yeah, this is good. I didn't get many cards, but the cards that I got were good. Those were some very good cards. So 16 years later, Luke is born. And Siwo is the only parent left alive. Mother left me the wooden sword, so I get the extra +5 attack in combat. Or potentially up to +5. I'll show you that in a fight in a moment. Tavern building invented, and nothing new going on in the world, particularly no gossip from our parents. So from here I can grab some strength. I want all of these. Don't want to get into a fight with the dragon, really. Let's head on through. Let's head on up. I want to show you... I was hoping to find some monsters to show you how the weapons work, but I'm not finding any. Well, I've reached adulthood before I even managed to achieve anything in life. Although I'm pretty strong, at 65 strength before adulthood, I feel like I'm pretty well set up for life here. It's pretty good. I feel like I can slay some foes. Let's take that. Let's gain a little fame early on. Sure, 1,000 fame. There we go. 77. 83. I think I'm pretty good to take on whatever comes my way. So let's head through to the next territory. I don't know how tough it's going to be. This is an island world. So we've got these 6 different territories and they're going to be different things. So now we're on an island world. There is a boss jargon in here and got a quest to build a wonder. Not that I ever completed many of the quests in the other area, but hey. The island worlds I do keep finding, yeah, like here. Well, there's our boss jargon, I guess. You can't do much in this world. I'm kind of restricted by the islands, and it seems to be sort of the way the worlds generate can be a bit hit and miss, and I just can't do much in this area. I don't know whether I need some specific equipment, or... Hey, I am dual-wielding swords. I actually didn't know I could do that. Holy crap, that's really cool. Yeah, sweet. So, yeah, I can't move through this zone. I don't know if you can pick up a boat as an item, or swimmer as a trait or something to be able to cross these areas. I presume there must be something very similar that you can do. But for whatever reason, I can't explore this area anymore, which I don't particularly like that that's a thing, but there you go. No, I will pass up that trait, because I kind of like the traits I've got. So let's head back into the forest world, never mind. And I just realised that we are a woman called Luke, and I don't know why we are a woman called Luke, but the naming generation should really try to differentiate by gender, I think. It seems to fail quite badly at that. It just assigns random names to anybody. We've got another one along here, so let's go to the desert. Desert sounds like it'd be a bit more traversable. Got 800 fame for being the first one to visit the area. Starbug is the boss. Suddenly got a bit red dwarf, and the monument is the quest, as well as there is a cave of legend. There is an ancient tomb with a lock on it. That's going to require a key from somewhere. I can presumably buy one from a shop. I've got these guys who've got 58 attack, but nuts to it. I've got 99, and then I've got these, the attack power from my weapons. So these will add an extra dice roll of 0 to 5 from each weapon as well. So if I attack these guys, the weapons each are going to add 4. That's going to boost my attack. The weapons actually made the difference there. I would have lost that fight without the weapons. I get a lot more fame for killing these much tougher enemies in this area, so that guy alone was worth like 1,000. We've got a shop here. We can have a look at the shop. There you go. So we've got hammers. If I'm carrying a hammer around, it'll repair buildings, because the buildings have a limited lifespan as well. If we can find broken ground, we can dig to find something exciting. A wooden raft. Move over water tile. There we go. I did say I wonder if there is a boat, so I suppose there is a boat indeed. If you want to explore the island worlds, you need to invest. You need to, well, first off, drop the sword, and then spend 2,000 on carrying a raft with you. So if you wanted to get around that world, that would be necessary. So you can see how all these things are kind of interplaying with each other. I think it's a really interesting world. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on. There's a lot of mechanics that kind of interplay with each other, and it's kind of cool. I can't say I'm necessarily super sold on the design. The characters are like entirely ugly right across the board. It's just some weird design where everybody in this game is just really hideous, but there you go. Let's build more barracks, why not? That turns it into a village. Yeah, I think the way that you kind of have to set up things for your generations, even within the first 4 generations here, you can already see if my first character said about earning money for the second generation. From there, we can building a warrior offspring, so that they become a great fighter in the world and can go forth and slay much tougher foes. Not that this guy's a much tougher foe. He has 14 attack. So, suck it. Mastimi was his name, I think. Oh god, I killed Mastimi. Sorry, Mastimi. We've got Akebob, who is guarding some sort of fortress thing by the looks of things. I'm just intrigued what that was. Was that another one of those lairs? Oh, there were 2 enemies there. It just kind of queues up the fight if there's multiple, so yeah. Get fought, both of you. There you go. 160 fame. Yeah, I guess that was the other lair. So I can use these as a shortcut as well. So if I enter that one, I'll just go through to there. So that's kind of a shortcut, so that's nice as well. A bit of fast travel. Just all the mechanics, the way the interplay is really cool. Like I say, I don't care for the style, but the mechanics are really interesting. It does make for really interesting gameplay. I think that's kind of nice in and of itself. There's not a lot more to show to you there. I've shown you most of the mechanics, and you can maybe get a kind of I maybe touched on kind of how some of them interplay, but I think there's a lot more to be discovered if you were sort of to actually delve into the mechanics. I mean, clearly when you go into building things, there are a lot of different things that you can potentially make by combining different buildings around towns, which will presumably reward you with different kind of structures and different bonuses and rewards, which would then change the path throughout the game itself. Which I think that's really cool. I think the way everything interacts there's a lot of depth here. And I think if that's the kind of thing you're looking for, there's a lot to be found if you want to dig deep into this game. There's much digging to be done. Well, there you go. This is Hero Generations. This is out now on Steam for, I believe, Windows and Mac, and also, I believe, Ouya, if you are one of the people who likes to play things on the Ouya. I don't believe there's many of those people around, but I believe they are out there. So there you go. That's a quick look at Hero Generations. I've been Meroka. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Yeah!